Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Happy Thursday, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jasmine Moyer. This is EverTalk Live, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on all things social and, of course, on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app for your daily dose of Hollywood and happiness, little pop culture and positivity.
Ah, the sunshine is out, Jez.
Oh,
How nice
it is.
This is why we all moved to LA right here.
Absolutely. Speaking of sunshine, did you know that I would only respond to the name Sunshine for like a year of my life?
You're kidding me.
As a girl? I'm not kidding you. My mom always called me her Sunshine.
Yeah.
And I was convinced that my name was Jesslyn Sunshine.
Wow. Did you read that book as a kid, Little Miss Sunshine? Because I was obsessed with that book.
Oh,
that was
yes.
like, you were like the living embodiment.
I was. My mom would sing "You Are My Sunshine," but I made her change the lyrics because, you know, at the end it says, "Please don't take my sunshine away."
Yeah.
So I was terrified someone was going to take me. So we just, changed those words.
It's interesting
Reframe.
as a kid, the things that freak you out. I remember one time getting lost in like a toy store, and I couldn't find my mom. Literally, she was in the next aisle, but I was panicked. Like I literally thought I was going to die, being like 7 or 8. But it's interesting, isn't it? Like the things that freak you out as kids or even as adults.
Like the earthquake that happened
Like the
earlier
earthquake.
this week. Oh, total irrational fear of mine. I
Pretty
hate
rational.
that.
I think it's still rational. 3.6 though, low magnitude. Happy about that.
Well, we're glad that the earth stopped shaking and that we can welcome our very special guest to the show. Good morning, everyone back in the studio. Hello.
Good morning.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up?
Cameron's bringing sexy back with us again this year. Happy New Year, Cameron.
Hey, happy New Year, guys. It's good to be back in LA.
We're happy to have you. So we want to know everything you're up to later in the show. But remind everyone, how do you wake up and stay woke? What's your morning routine like?
Well, like this morning, I got up, put my sheepskin Uggs on, shuffled into the kitchen, made a coffee, and was just a little grateful for what's going on in my life. And then I planned my day, and number one was you guys.
Oh, I love it. So today was only different because you're actually on EverTalk Live instead of watching it from home.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Very exciting. Jasmine is with us. Good morning, Jasmine.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you. We're going to talk all things breast health. Sorry, Rob. Later in the
this
show.
is
But
important.
first, we want to know, how do you wake up and stay woke? What's your routine like?
This morning I woke up, brushed my teeth, and ran into the kitchen, had my morning espresso, and I wrote 5 things I'm grateful for.
5 things.
5 things.
So what are those 5 things?
I'm grateful that I'm healthy. I'm grateful that I'm living in my purpose. I'm grateful for my friends and family. And I'm grateful that I am here on this show today.
Ah, fantastic. You actually really do practice the gratitude, because often we get folks on the show and, they make it up a little bit. Don't blame them for that.
Fake it till you make it, Rob.
Exactly, no problem with that. No issue.
Well, this California cowgirl with a Tennessee heart, Brenley Brown, is with us. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
We're so excited. We know you have a new single coming out February 7th, right?
Yes, super excited. February 7th. It's called One More Hallelujah, and very excited to share it.
Well, we want to know all about that later in the show. But first, tell us, how do you wake up and stay woke? What's your morning routine?
I wake up, normally I definitely play some music and get my voice warmed up, and I read a devotion. Definitely drink some coffee to wake up. Yeah, that's my morning routine.
I love it. LA and the world runs on coffee.
It does. And till you meet the man who runs on tea. One of the brothers behind 7 T's is with us. Good morning.
Good morning. That's right, guys. He keeps me fueled.
Well, we want
Great
to.
to be here.
Oh, absolutely. We want to know all about your tea later in the show. But tell us, how do you wake up and stay woke? What's your routine like?
Well, other than the tea, like for example, this morning I got up and did about 15 minutes of breathing meditation. And so it's just like deep 5-second inhales and 8-second exhales. And what that does before I get my day started in all the wheels turning of the craziness of the day, it just kind of gives me a calm, centered place to kind of start everything in a nice, solid platform.
Oh, fantastic. How long have you been doing that?
It's been a long time. Actually, I've been practicing yoga and meditation for about 15 years. I started young in like high school. So I was lucky to be introduced to that at an early age. And it's just been paramount in my life.
Awesome. Well, we're so lucky to have you today. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all so much for being with us. We look forward to continuing the conversation later in the show.
Yes, the meditation sounds like torture. I remember the first time I heard about it, I was like, are you kidding? Like, it just, like, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to sit alone with my own thoughts and just breathe. And now I look back and I think, man, it's been the most important practice of my life, mostly because it's an opportunity to just stop thinking about the world and all its problems, right?
If you can actually stop thinking, I
Yeah.
am one of those who has a very hard time turning her mind off. I wake up at 3 a.m. And
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking. I say I'm a daydreamer and a night thinker.
Well, you know, sometimes I remember in the beginning, I discovered like the value of cones. Like, so a cone, K-O-A-N, is really like one of the, like, what's the sound of one hand clapping, right? So the idea I thought when I read those was to figure it out, like what's the answer to this thing? But actually, it's to quiet the mind, right? So an easy cone that you can use is just like a math problem. So it's like, what's 355 times 12?
Oh my God.
See, for a second, your mind goes quiet.
Well, you lost me at cone, K-O-H-N. I still don't even know what that is, let alone the math. I've been doing stock trading since before the sun was even up, Rob.
See, the mind locks up sometimes naturally on its own. You can just enjoy the locking up part, you know.
Yeah, something like that. So what did you get into yesterday?
I did 2 podcasts yesterday.
Oh, which ones?
Yeah, it's interesting. They come in like droves. I did the Broken Brain podcast with Drew Perowit.
Good name.
Yeah, top 50 podcast. That was amazing. Just a phenomenal conversation. And then I did also the Imperfectly Perfect campaign with Glenn. We had Glenn on the show, and he's sort of featured this Imperfectly Perfect campaign over social media. So that was awesome. 2 phenomenal conversations. Like, I live for those conversations where you just get to like connect authentically about things that matter most.
So what was the biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway for me, I would say at the end of the day, is that everybody has a story. Everybody's got a story, and so no matter what you feel or experience when you interact with someone, if you can remember that they've got a story behind there. So if they're coming at you, do you feel attacked? Do you feel like they're upset, they're frustrated, they're being mean? Behind that is always some kind of frustration that really has more to do with them than it does with you. So I think that's the takeaway that I always want to remind myself of, just so that I have empathy and so I stay like emotionally regulated.
Absolutely, and keeping the assumptions and the judgment out of that.
Yes.
I think that is paramount.
Huge. Yeah, so easy to just jump to conclusions. Reminds me of that Office Space. You saw Office Space, the movie, right?
Office Space movie?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Remember?
With his fax machine and everything.
And do you remember his game?
No.
Jump to conclusions. That was the thing that he wanted all the money, and then there's a game he created called Jump to Conclusions, and it was literally like this little board, and you jumped. It was silly.
Oh, I'll have to rewatch it. Truth be told, I only watched that space with boyfriend when I was in high school. I'll tell you, I wasn't really watching.
I can imagine. It was Netflix and chill before Netflix.
Exactly. Last night I hit up Craig's, which is one of my favorite neighborhood spots, right around the corner, for a glass of Moët Rosé. I was really excited. So my namesake rosé is pouring at Craig's now. So if you're in the West Hollywood area, please go by and have a glass. I would love to celebrate life with you all. I say it's La Vie en Rosé, but caught up with one of our dear friends, Jeannie Anderson. Yeah, exactly.
Producer, filmmaker.
Producer, filmmaker, director, and then I went to the Roger Room, which I've never been to. I was like, I'm not even cool enough for this.
I don't know anything about the Roger Room. I know, it's sad.
It's like British pubby, dark, kind of smells like maraschino cherries. The floor is a little sticky, but I caught up with an old friend who I hadn't seen in years. And it was so great, speaking of everybody having a story, just to really, really reconnect. And, despite the fact that our paths hadn't crossed for so many years, and you take it personally, you wonder, well, whatever happened to him or whatever happened to her? They all have stories.
Yes.
And when he sat across from me and shared his, I thought, oh my God, I had all these assumptions. I'm so glad we can really connect heart to heart.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. Did two tequila Jeslyn come out last night?
Rob, I can't confirm nor deny tequila Jeslyn.
Tequila Jeslyn, I love that.
But
What a moniker for you.
I will say this is 3-cup coffee Jeslyn, so that speaks for itself.
Well, whatever you did last night, whatever event, the Roger, it looks like it really had a great effect on the hair.
Oh,
and you
thank
look sparkling today.
Dry
you
shampoo.
Dry shampoo.
Half my body weight is probably dry shampoo. There's kale and coffee and rosé.
Well, it's working for you.
So tell us about this positive psychology in the Science of Happiness article you found.
So naturally, I'm a happiness coach mostly because I was miserable most of my life. Again, greatest problems pointing to highest purpose, I guess. So there's a great article in thepursuitofhappiness.org, and it's really just about 7 habits of happy people, right? So lots of this stuff isn't new, but sometimes the ways in which we think about it is new. So number 1, relationships. Right, that's critical. So it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but friendships, it can be platonic friendships, it doesn't matter, but friendships, and particularly we call it active constructive responding. So lots of people, you meet people and you're friends with people, but they're kind of like energy vampires. And you
Oh,
share
I know a
something-
few of those.
Yeah, you share something that's like tough, or you share success, and maybe they don't celebrate you when you're, succeeding, and then when you're doing bad, they're not particularly helpful. So, active constructive responding is a way to sort of vet for all of that.
If they're not actively constructively responding,
Yeah.
cut them out.
Right, there you go, exactly.
Done.
Second one is acts of kindness. I think we all know for the most part that like happy people are more charitable and generous and kind. Like we know that's scientifically true. But also being more kind and loving and caring also contributes back to your happiness, right? So it increases your happiness rating. So just, if you're having a tough day and you want to be happier, sometimes doing something for somebody else is really good.
Even if it's as simple as a genuine compliment.
Yeah.
If you don't have time to serve or money to give, find something you love about what the person's wearing or the smile that they have or whatever it might be that you can genuinely compliment, because that exchange of kindness and communication goes so far.
I absolutely love that. And if you struggle with compliments and you have a little extra money, you can always Venmo us, right? Zelle, PayPal, we take it all. There's nothing we don't take. Checks.
Sure, absolutely.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, right? Exercise and physical fitness, and just well-being. We know that like 30 minutes a day is the equivalent to taking a Prozac. It has that much of a positive impact on your like psychological
I got to get on this
and emotional
exercise
well-being.
thing.
Yeah, the exercise. It's tough though. You're up. What time are you up now?
I'm up way too early and I'm out way too late, so the time to exercise
Yeah.
is really
Well, you burn the candle at
non-existent.
both ends, Jez, and that's what inspires me about you. I don't know how you do it. It's amazing.
Coffee and rosé.
Coffee and rosé.
There you go.
All day, every day. All right, I love that. Flo, so there's a guy actually out here, Mike Chinck-Setmihai, who is basically a professor and researcher at Claremont Graduate University, and he's like the grandfather of psychological state of flow, which is like being in the zone. So like athletes get in the zone, they score 60 points, or they score 4 touchdowns. But there's a way to do that in your everyday life so that you can accomplish in one day what would normally take you about a year and a half to accomplish. Literally.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. You're 500 to 1,000% more effective when you're in the zone.
And your selfies are that much better.
Yes.
That flow moment where you're really feeling yourself and you're like, oh yes, this
Yes.
color is good on
I
me.
feel like you've had a lot of days like that, especially in the modeling career.
Well, sometimes. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
What else we got?
All right. It was different being a guy in that business. I was just a prop. I just stood there in the back. I didn't even have to pay
Stand still,
attention.
look pretty exactly.
It's like amazing.
One of these days we're going to get Rob's modeling portfolio and
Oh,
share a few
man.
selects. Right? I'll go one for one. I'll give
Okay.
you like my worst you can
Yeah,
hear
we'll
one.
do it today. I'll post it to my Insta story today.
Okay, deal.
Down? Okay.
I'm down.
Okay. I'm only going to post the ones that have already been filtered. All right. So last two things real quickly. Strengths and virtues. So, positive psychology, we call virtues strengths because when you exercise them, you feel stronger for having done so. You feel better off. You feel more inspired. So identifying like your signature strengths, and there are tests online for this, but identifying your signature strengths and then exercising them every day is extraordinarily helpful in terms of happiness. So for instance, I have a love of learning. I'm a very curious person. So anytime I exercise that strength, I'm happier for it. What would you say, Jez? I know you've got countless strengths, so it's probably hard to...
Fashion. First thing that
Fashion.
comes to mind.
Yeah.
If I've got an outfit that I like and I feel good in, killing it. I exercise that strength. I do exercise
Yes,
that
you
strength
do.
on a daily basis
See,
by
you
what I
exercise.
wear.
At the
Exactly.
gym that you
I'm
exercise.
flexing through fashion.
Exactly. I love that. So it's an appreciation of beauty. And then finally, positive mindset. That's the one we always think about when we think about happiness.
Yeah.
It's really optimism, mindfulness, and gratitude. And the truth is that when you're happy, of course, you feel all those things automatically. But also when you flex those particular sort of skill sets or mindsets, it also contributes back to your happiness. And we just, do know that like optimists generally have better lives. And it's not because they have better lives and it leads to optimism. It's because they're optimistic and they therefore persist in ways that pessimists don't.
Manifest a better destiny.
Right?
Right?
And if you can, if you gotta live, why not live well?
Amen to that. Well, stay tuned. We've got some great guests coming up next on EverTalk Live. And I'm Jessamine Moyer. This is EverTalk Live, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. in the Ever Media Studios for a little Hollywood and happiness, positivity, and pop culture on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app, and of course, streaming live on all socials.
I've got so much love in my life, and then I get to do this with you every single day. I mean, it's incredible.
If you have a dream, do not let anything stop you.
You can have all the money or all the success in the world, but if you don't have peace, it's all worthless, really, right?
Happiness from the inside out. Please be sure, if you haven't read this book,
Sweet.
you've got to. I
important to
love
remember.
what we do.
I do too, Jess.
Miracles. I'd like just my life to be an example that miracles exist. I am just so grateful that we get to be a part of this journey together, Rob, whether it's 4 a.m. texting up peanut butter and jellies or coming to you live Monday through Friday every 9 a.m. You know when you're going to see that, Eddie?
Yes.
When we're holding it in our
That's
own
right,
hands,
that's
Rob,
right.
for Best Digital Daytime Talk Show.
What makes people lucky, like actually lucky, is that they believe they're lucky.
Thank you for being my mentor, Rob.
Likewise.
He didn't even know it.
True.
I'm out all the time. I'm everywhere. I'm drinking my wine. I'm doing the show. I'm stepping and repeating on some kind of red carpet. I had a little too much. I said, one drink Jeslin. One drink Jeslin. 2 tequila Jeslin. 2 tequila Jeslin.
One drink jazz.
Is this one drink Jeslin? I hope you're proud, Rob.
I'm very
reading
proud
a
of you,
book.
actually. I don't know how you have the hair is killing it today.
Oh, thank
Are
you.
you feeling-
Clearly, we have no fun around here. It's a thing.
yeah.
Thought of the day: light, love, and magic. Oh, I do it fun. It was wild. Absolutely. Oh my God! Do you know we're still on live, Rob? Right now,
You gotta be kidding.
talking to my angels.
That's hilarious. That's-
They always say if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, right? I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah,
We
it's
couldn't do what we do without the support of you watching. Thank you for sharing, for DMing, for commenting, for continuing to support us as we grow and scale our vision. For the people in the studio and their friends and families for having our backs. We're so grateful.
Right. And I'm most deeply and genuinely grateful for you. Truly, I am, Jazz. It's just a pleasure every day to get to connect with you and work with you. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful for you. We love you, Rob Mack. There isn't a man or woman who hasn't met you and said you're the best dressed person in Los Angeles and the happiest guy we know. It's an honor to be able to do the show with
Appreciate
you.
that.
New trainer, Cam.
I'm Cam Burns and I'm a personal trainer and I absolutely love it. Being a good trainer isn't just about pushing people to their physical limits. It's about motivating them, being their nutritionist and supporting them through their journey. My job is to take someone who's depressed and unhappy and doesn't really believe in themselves, and then I make them love themselves again, and I spend so much time with them, and I give them all my energy. Doesn't matter how big they are or how sick they've been or how they can't get outside of their head, and I pride myself that I can give them that turnaround, and I literally make them believe that they can do and achieve anything they want.
Welcome back to EverTalk Live. I am so excited to welcome Cam Burns back to the show. Happy 2020, and thank you for bringing sexy back.
Yeah.
Yes, you might recognize him from the Netflix series Bringing Sexy Back. So what's your year been like? How are you?
Oh my God. Well, I left LA in December to go back to Australia because of the bushfires, and I literally just got back. And I guess it's given me a new perspective for 2020 because so many people have lost everything. We were on average losing 5 homes a week
5 homes
for
a
the
week.
last 3 months.
Wow.
And the devastation, the loss of life, but the community, the global community that is pulling together to save and help and support and rebuild has just been overwhelming. So Australian, we're tough people, right?
Yes.
So we're battlers, everyone's banding together, and it's just been an amazing start to 2020 on different levels.
So being back there in Australia, how did it change your perspective?
Look, we've all got family that got affected, so it's been reaching out, offering help, offering donations, and in fact, money at that point couldn't help anything, it couldn't save anything. We had to fly in 100 firefighters from California to help.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gotten that bad.
You know, the interesting thing about adversity is that it often does clarify our priorities.
Brings us
right?
together, yeah.
So in what ways do you feel clearer about your own personal purpose and mission?
I have no right to complain about anything at all.
Yeah.
When my alarm gets up, you just get up and grind. If you have to be appreciative of how amazing our lives are at this day and age, and that seeing other people go through so much trauma, losing everything, being ripped from their homes, you've got to be very grateful and thankful that we have what we have, and then also give back because people need it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're an incredibly resilient guy, right? And you inspire that within other people. Is there anything you've learned about resilience that's worked for you both sort of personally and professionally?
Wow. 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, which was pretty tough considering I'm a fit guy.
Totally.
You know, so that was a really tough journey going through that. And I guess I use that for me is how I share my experience to other people to help strengthen them, right? Because if they've got a fit and able body, I'm like, well, you don't have to take 5 injections every day. You don't have to check your blood sugar every half an hour. You don't have to worry about having a hypo or hyper and then getting blood tests all the time to make sure you're maintaining it, right? So you've got a body that works, so you've got no excuse. Let's get to work.
Speaking of no excuses, you know,
How have you guys been? Have you stuck to your
Amazing.
2020 resolutions? Your training?
I don't make resolutions, so I've been perfect.
Wow.
Unbelievably
You know
perfect.
what?
I mean,
I love it.
impeccable.
Gold star for you.
What's that? Yeah.
Gold star for you.
Exactly.
no gold star for me, and this is hard for me because I definitely set goals for myself that maybe aren't as actionable as they should be and a little too lofty. And across all areas of my life, but especially with fitness, you know, and especially because I do lead such a busy social life, I'm not prioritizing that in the way I need to, really finding that structure within my schedule. So what advice could you?
Wow. So this is the easiest thing I say to everyone: accountability. Right? Doesn't matter what you set your goal to be. It could be as simple as, hey, I just want to get out. I want to go to the gym, or I want to do Pilates. I want to do this. I want to be active 4 times a week. Doesn't matter. You've got to find a way to make yourself accountable. Right? Whether it's tracking or whether you employ even an online coach. You go, I want weekly accountability to you. I just want somebody, or you do a family member or your partner and go, I want you to be like tough on me. I want you to check in with me every Monday morning. Have I done X, Y, and Z? Because accountability is where everything's at, right? This is why people pay for personal trainers. It's really not about their skills and everything, which it is, but more importantly, that the trainer is like making you accountable. You've got to turn up, you've got to do what they ask you to do, then the job's done. So you need to be more accountable.
Yeah, you need an accountability partner. I could be your accountability partner. Every time I wake up in the morning, I just send you a text. Or,
Whoa, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Well,
you're gonna love me after that.
Monday through Friday,
I want a selfie with you on the spin bike right now.
Never in my wildest dreams. I like cry. I did that spin class once. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna die. I was sweating so much that you couldn't even see the tears, which was good because it was an
Hilarious.
emotional journey.
Don't you think a part of that then too is like fun? I mean, to enjoy it.
That was not fun.
Yeah. So, that's part of the account. Like,
definitely
is that
true.
part of the way to stay committed to the goals?
Look,
Or not
let's
so
be
much?
honest.
Yeah.
If what you do is fun, the turn up is easy, right? But you having to go back to spin class is not going to happen.
No.
So I find that if I'm doing exercise or workouts or activities and things that I enjoy doing, I don't even have to think twice. Right. But when it comes down to the grind, summer's coming, or I'm going on a holiday and I want to look great, you know, that's the grind. I need. Cool. How am I going to stay on track to get to there? So it is, firstly, yes, pick something that you enjoy doing, then it's not easy. It's like if you enjoy your work, you never work a day in your life. The same with exercise. If you enjoy your exercise, it's not really exercise.
Yeah.
It's like doing something fun.
I love that. And at some point too, don't you notice like a switch flips and suddenly it's harder to not go, like for me, quite frankly, it's harder to not go to the gym. I'd really have to fight myself to not go to the gym just because I've been doing it all the time. Maybe I'm just addicted. But
I'm the same. I don't miss a day.
Yeah, harder to miss.
Day.
at
It's
some
like
point.
that on the plane, the 15 hours, that makes me angry.
Right.
Like I need to move. Like I've never sat still for 15 hours of my life.
Wow.
You look at me like I'm crazy.
I can't relate to that. And I know a lot of people you feel the same way.
Yeah, that's true. So that's true. Mine's a bunch of reasons that I do it. So one is like sanity, like exercise is just that special place you go, no one bothers you. It's mental health because, you know, endorphins, it makes sure that you're positive. You walk out, I've achieved something for the day. Health and fitness means sure I'm maintaining at the bare minimum, like a healthy lifestyle. I turned 40 in a month, so I'm like, I'm trying to wind back the clock.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Sure are.
Yeah. Did you see his abs in that video? I mean, 40 looks
Shredded,
good
brother.
on you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so I have multiple reasons as to why I exercise. Not one just I just want to lose weight or I just want to be fit. I have to have a plethora of reasons to go, hey, this is just a daily routine. Yeah. This is like eating, drinking, sleeping, all of those things.
Yeah, love that. So what are your goals for the new year, both personally and professionally? It sounds like you've probably got a number of projects.
I want to survive 40. That's the first thing. I guess the way I train has changed over the last few years, especially in the last year, where I'm more volume training, more compound stuff. I'm not lifting as heavy as I ever used to.
Why is that? Is that for the joints and everything, or is that?
Yeah, joints. And do you know what? My strength has changed. My endurance has changed. Everything has sort of shifted in a different way. So it's understanding your body. Like if you can understand your body, then you'll train for it and the way you like training. So you won't push yourself through. Like I should not be doing CrossFit. Just saying. I'll break things. I've tried it recently. things
Me too. That's my excuse. I break too many things.
Yeah. So like it's just knowing your limitations and then being cool with that and just enjoying like something even simple as like just going to the gym and jumping on a bike and doing some intervals. Like it's as basic as that. Again, you think I'm crazy, but that's okay.
I like your crazy, Cam. I really do. So please tell everyone where they can find and follow, work with you. I know you've got an online program as well.
Yeah. So I've been coaching people online for years now. So whether it's weight loss, it's programming, accountability. Like I have a group of people I'm just accountable for. So every week we drop in the group and go, who did this? Who didn't do this? Who's going to do their push-ups? Who owes me this? It's just cameronburns.com.au. And you find a whole bunch of stuff from food plans to training programs, anything like that. But more importantly, it's really just tools. Like it's super affordable. It's basically to give people who want to go to the gym or start something but don't know where to start, right? And they've just got literally a recipe to follow, a program to follow. It keeps it really simple.
Love that.
I like to keep it simple. Because otherwise you give up. It's like a New Year's resolution. It lasts about 2 weeks and then it's done.
Touche. Love that.
Well, thank you, Cam. It's great to see you.
Yeah, it's awesome. Always a pleasure to see you guys.
Stay tuned.
And I will be making sure you get on that spin.
Oh no! I feel like the texts are going to come
Text
in.
message tomorrow morning.
Stay tuned. We'll be back tomorrow at EverTalk Live. Oh no! 5, 4, 3, 2. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm your host, Jez Mouillet, aka The Trading Bell. What a morning it will be. Due to recent news, we're expecting that the market will be down today, but that could potentially present some opportunity for us. Let's take a look at our watch list. One of the things that differentiates the Trading Bell from any of the other stock shows, other than we do live trading, is everything that we do is on camera, so you can see it as it happens. You are seeing what's happening right now in this moment. 2020, it's all about money, money, money. That is my motto. Remember, money never sleeps, pal. That's right. That's why I'm here trading in Los Angeles live with you at the opening bell. Whew, sun is not even up yet, but the stocks are on the move. Numbers are moving faster than I can even speak. Well, let's face it. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I've got goosebumps. This is a history in the making. Top of the list, SVRA up 154% this morning. Build BBI at 162. Oh, that feels good. BPH, Spring Bake Pharmaceuticals up 22%. That is going to make for a very sweet start to 2020. Filled. Woo! That feels good. Just a disclaimer, this is an entertainment show, so please don't treat any of the information you hear on the show as an investment advice, because trading is risky. What's on the year strong? Visit EverTalk TV, Facebook, or Instagram at The Trading Bell. Remember, every dream has its price. What's yours? Welcome back to EverTalk Live. I am so excited to welcome this, yes. We're all so excited. Everyone's echoing in the universe. Welcome Bradley Brown to the show. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, so excited to be here.
I am so looking forward to your next single, February 7th. Tell us about the Hallelujah.
Yes, very excited. It's called One More Hallelujah. And I've honestly been working on this project for about 3 years now. Honestly, the writing to finding the right producer, just the whole process has been a journey, and it's been a great journey. But just to get to this point, I'm so excited to actually be releasing the music and for it to be out there. But this specific song really has a special place in my heart. And out of all the songs on the project that's coming out in March, I had written everything, and I talked to my producer, and he's like, have you considered looking at outside songs, which means, listening to some other songs that you haven't written? And I said, I haven't. I've spent the last 3 years really digging in, writing, figuring out what I wanted to say through my music, who I am as an artist, and all those different things. And he's like, I want you to listen to this song. And he sent it to me. And immediately when I heard it, I started crying, and it was just, I knew it was a message in a song that I wanted to share specifically in this project. So I'm very excited.
So what is that message, and what makes this song so special?
It's a message of hope, which I just think that this world needs more of, hope and love. And it's called One More Hallelujah. And for me personally, how I relate to it is, in my life, I'm young. I turn 18 tomorrow, actually.
Oh,
my birthday's tomorrow.
Thank
you. I know I can't say I'm a minor anymore. I'm going to be an adult now. But yeah, just being in this industry is already challenging at a young age, at any age. The entertainment industry is just a tough one to be in, and just the pressures of all of it. But also just, things that I've gone through. My mom dealt with a lot of health stuff when I was younger, and just a lot of different trials that have come up in my life. And that's life, right? People go through things. But this song is really about holding on to those moments and going through those hard times, and when you get that hallelujah moment, how much more sweeter it is that you have gone through those, if that makes sense. You have, hit the pavement and worked hard for your dreams and pursuing and getting to a point where you're like, oh man, I've worked hard for this, and this is the moment that God's kind of allowed in your life, I guess you could say. So.
And you've had several hallelujah moments. I mean, you've even performed on stage with Gwen Stefani, and your time on The Voice.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, and so grateful to have been a part of that. Growing up, I grew up in Southern California, in Apple Valley, California, which is a pretty small town. And country girl, I grew up with horses and on a ranch. And my dad introduced me to traditional classic country music at a very young age, like Emmylou, Dolly Parton, and Merle Haggard. And so I grew up with those voices, but there wasn't a lot of opportunities, in my small town to sing and to perform. And so I remember at 11 years old asking my parents if I could do an open mic night in LA, in Los Angeles. And they were like, do they even allow that young of people to come to open mic nights? And so I Googled, thanks to Google, I found that this one venue allowed minors, and so I would go there every week and play open mic nights and do all that I could. And I received an email in my email from The Voice saying they had lowered the age to 13, and would you come audition? There's several processes before you actually audition for the coaches. You audition for the casting, you audition for the producer, so it's kind of a whole process. But I had thought about it, and I had already gone out to Nashville at this point, crazy as it seems at such a young age, but I knew kind of the work that it was going to take, and I said I would love the opportunity if that's supposed to happen, The Voice. And so auditioned, never thinking I would make it to the semifinals, and so I'm very grateful. But working with Gwen and Blake and the coaches was incredible.
Oh my goodness, I'm so inspired, and there's so many things there that you said. I'm not going to be able to unpack it all, but I
talk too much.
No, it's great.
I'm talking on and on
it's
and on.
Amazing. It's so amazing. I think one of the things I was thinking about is the open mic thing. That's something you generally don't get paid to do, right? So you were showing up and you were singing just from a place of love and joy. And when you were doing that, were you full of mostly just hope, or were you mostly just in the moment so much you were enjoying it? Were you sort of thinking strategically while you were doing that, or just sort of enjoying the?
Just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
I think for me, music has been such a healing in my life and has brought so much joy to me and my family. And so to give that to others in any capacity, whether that's an open mic night with 5 people or thousands of people, that's really the goal, is just to share that message of love through music, which I think is just such a gift in itself, you know.
Well, you're also doing that though through your DreamWorks show. Season 2 premiering
February 7th as well, which I just found out. DreamWorks let me know that it's coming out the same day that this song comes out, which is not planned at all. So I'm really excited.
Perfect divine timing.
Right? Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the show.
Super excited. So I've been working on DreamWorks Dragons Rescue Riders. The first season is out for 4 years, believe it or not.
Wow.
So a lot of people, you know, and with you know, voiceover movies or whatever it may be, it takes several years to like get together. And so this has been such an incredible experience. Voiceover was something I never really thought I would be in. It wasn't so, you know, music was always kind of my focus. And so this is so crazy how it all connects. So through these open mic nights that I started doing in LA, a vocal contractor came to this is so crazy, from Disney, came to one of these open mic nights, saw me, came up to me, asked for a demo, and like that's how it just spiraled into working a voiceover through music. Isn't that,
I have chills.
Right?
This is so crazy. Yeah. So that's how I got into it. But DreamWorks has been incredible. The show is so much fun. I play a young girl named Layla, and she's the dragon leader. And we're very similar in a lot of different ways. We're both very determined and like adventure, and it's such a fun show. It's great. You know, it's funny because I'm a little on the older side to be watching it, but I find myself like I turn it on. I have a little brother, so I'll turn it on for him, and we'll watch it, and I'll be like, this is really funny. Like it's actually a great show. So I enjoy it.
Clearly, you've found and discovered the power of your own voice, whether it's through voiceover or through music or actually voice.
Through the voice.
What advice would you have for other young girls specifically who are struggling to find their voice?
Yes, I would say just give yourself grace. You know, I say figuring out, I mean, through the whole process of like figuring out what my voice was through my music was such a process and a learning experience, and it wasn't like, well, I know exactly what I'm gonna do in this life. I mean, still to this day, you know, I go, should I be doing this? Should I be and you can do that all day, but I think if you follow your heart and you believe in yourself, you know, I think that's the most important thing is you have the strength inside to go, you know what, I'm gonna do this. No matter what the trials are, no matter what you face, I believe everybody's given a gift and a dream and a calling that's put on their life. And for me, that's been music. But I think that whether that's an artist, whether that's whatever you're meant to do in life, you're gonna face trials, but you're gonna keep coming back to it no matter what, because it's ultimately what you're supposed to do. And so I think, you know, for young girls that are trying to find their voice, just to believe in themselves and not worry about how long it takes to find it either, you know?
Was there ever a point when you wanted to quit, or for the most part has the love of,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, times where I think the love of music has never gone away. Like, knowing that I'll always do music has always been inside my heart, you know, in any capacity. But definitely there's times that are hard, that you're like, man, this is tough, whether it's rejection, whether it's whatever it may be. But yes, there's been times for sure.
Who and what has gotten you through that? Anybody specific?
Yes, definitely my faith, and just clinging to that in times of struggle. But my mom has always been a rock, and you know, going through all that we've been through with her health stuff and how really that music became such an important part in my life during that time. But she's always encouraged me. Both my parents, I'm so grateful that they haven't, you know, they've just encouraged me through this all. They could have shut it down so quickly, you know, and said, you know, focus more on school, which they are very big on school as well. But they allowed me, they drove me, all those, I mean, they continue to support me. I mean, my dad me off at the interview this morning. He didn't have to do that. So just things like that, and very grateful for them.
Oh, well, we're very grateful for you. Please tell everyone where they can follow your journey, and of course, where they can get your music.
Yes, you can follow on all social media at Brinley Brown on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, website, brinleybrown.com. But my music, I already actually have a song out called Keep Coming Back. It came out November 1st, and it's on all streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, all the different streaming. There's so many now. It's like I'm missing it.
Actually, yeah, keep coming back to Brinley Brown.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
We appreciate you. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on EverTalk Live.
Last night I dreamt and you were there. But when I woke in the morning, it didn't feel real. Putting the pieces back together, finding a strength I never knew. Start again, this time it's gonna be different. I'm learning to breathe again. This time it's gonna feel different. The past is in the past, some things just never last. Learn to let go, start again. Start again.
Welcome back to EverTalk Live. Our next guest has been saving lives and amassing quite a celebrity following. Jasmine Corsandi is with us today to talk about breast health and a very special machine that you've mastered, right?
Right.
Tell us a little bit about it.
So the machine is called Sonocine Automated Whole Breast Ultrasound.
Okay.
And what it does is it records 3,000 images starting from your lymph nodes all the way to your chest wall. And those images turn into a movie. So I'm able to detect breast cancer as small as 3 millimeters. Yeah. So
Wow.
the typical mammogram is missing 50% of breast cancers if you have dense breast tissue or implants.
Wow.
50%.
50%, yeah. So dense breast tissue looks like this. I have a little picture. So the tissue is white and fatty breast looks like kind of black. So you could see the cancer if you have fatty breast, but you can't see the snowball in the snow if you have dense breast tissue.
Oh, that's really interesting that you mentioned that. You can't see the snowball.
You can't see the snowball, which
In
is
the snow.
Yeah, which is the pathology, exactly.
Wow. So this technology, how long has it been around now?
It's been around for 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you get involved?
I worked for a gynecologist 5 years ago, and she had this machine. So the Sonocine team trained me for a couple of days, and I fell in love with this machine. I went to ultrasound school 5 years ago, and we learned how to do breast ultrasounds, but it was handheld. So I would just take pictures myself. So Dr. Kelly, the creator of this machine, always says it's like texting and driving. You don't know if you scan 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So he created this machine so there's no human error.
Wow. I just love that. So how do you know, though, if you need to have this type of scan in addition to a mammogram, or is this to replace a mammogram?
Right. So all women should have this scan because A, it can pick up the cancer so small at 3 millimeters. So if I can detect it at 3 millimeters, you just take it out. You don't have to do a biopsy. You don't have to get chemo or radiation. So it's very early detection. So it's great to get a baseline. The mammogram is also good because it can detect early calcifications.
And at what age should somebody come in? I've never had a mammogram or any of these kind of exams.
Right. Since there's no radiation or no squeezing of the breast, I recommend getting a baseline at age 30.
Oh, well, I guess I'm overdue.
Probably there too, Jess.
In a couple of years, I'll consider that. So we know that, or rumor has it, that your office is very spa-like.
Yes.
It's been, graced by Gwyneth Paltrow, as we've mentioned, and
Right.
several other celebrities. What is it about your practice that you think it is so unique and does create kind of almost this haven?
So a lot of women are scared of getting their breasts checked because usually they take the breast, they put it in between two plates and squeeze it and radiate it. So they're all scared of going to this appointment.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create like a safe, happy place where women can come and feel comfortable. My bed is warm, I play spa music, and they just relax. And since I'm just, I'm not radiating, I'm not squeezing, I just put some warm gel and just sweep through the breast. And I actually really care about my patients' health because my grandmother had breast cancer. My really good friend's mom passed away from breast cancer because it was missed on the mammogram. So I ask a lot of questions. I want to know their family history. I want to know if they're BRCA1, BRCA2 positive. I want to know if they have painful breasts. I want to know their symptoms before we even get started. So it's kind of like a consult. We sit and chat for like 10 minutes, and then I'll do the scan.
Oh, I love this. Honestly, like, you know, and just as a, you've taken the two greatest objections that I have to going to the doctor
Right.
completely off the table. I mean,
Right.
Generally, I don't like going to I love doctors.
Right.
I don't like doctors' offices.
Right.
I
Because,
agree.
right? Because you feel feels super sterile, as it should be. It's good that it's sterile, but it's
Right.
super uncomfortable, and I feel, you know, and on top of that, I'm not sure they're really all that interested in me. Right? And so I love that you're sort of addressing both of those challenges. You've created this incredible environment where people can feel safe and comfortable, but also get done whatever they need done.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of offices have that like all white room with the white jacket,
Yeah.
and it is scary. I mean, my gynecologist, every year I go, I'm scared because she just comes in, does her procedure, and she walks out. But with me, I have a personal relationship with my patients. I'm on the front lines. I do the scan. I call them with the results. If I do see something, I'll call the radiologist right away. She'll come in. She could, you know, tell the patient, this looks, you know, normal, this looks benign, this looks malignant. So it's a very, you know, easy process. We don't send you out to 10 different specialists. We don't want patients to be scared. Even if I do find something, I'll hold your hand through the whole procedure.
Well, thank you very
Love
much,
that.
Jasmine. We appreciate you and your information. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow and come visit you.
You could, on Instagram, it's Sonobreast, and my website is sonobreast.com.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You're
Stay
very
tuned. We'll be back
welcome.
with more at EverTalk Live.
Gotta get it right now. Yeah, push over limits with you right now. Gotta get it right now. Yeah, push over limits with you right now. Gotta get it right now. Yeah, push over limits with you right now. Get it right now. Yeah, push over limits with you right now. Gotta get it right now. Gotta get it right now. Gotta get it right now. Yeah, push over limits with you right now. Gotta get it right now. Yeah, push over limits with you right now.
Welcome back to EverTalk Live. You all know how much I like to start my day with a little coffee and end with a little tea. So I've invited the brothers behind 7 Teas with us today. Good morning.
Good morning,
Thanks for
guys.
being here.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Los Angeles area, you might have seen these guys at Whole Foods.
Yes.
And this is a great tea. So what's it like being brothers in business, and why did you decide to launch a tea?
Yeah, it's an amazing experience, you know, doing this with my brother. Very rewarding, challenging at times, but through all of those challenges, we've kept making the product better and better, and you know, and we couldn't do it without each other. So, you know,
So, what initially inspired the business?
well, we have about 10, 15 years of herbalism and drinking teas and health and yoga.
Yep.
And these are all teas that we've been personally drinking and over the past 10, 15 years. And but we didn't see them on the market. So we wanted to bring them out to a much wider audience.
Yeah. Did you have experience as entrepreneurs and sort of business before that, or was this like a totally new space?
Yeah, actually, we come from, you know, long line of like businessmen, and we worked with our dad for a while and learned business and entrepreneurship, and that was a huge thing to us. And so a lot of that came into this business, that experience, And also in beverage, we have been trying to launch products for years. It's been a long time coming. So it was, this was the one that we came back with, and we had tons of passion, and it got into Whole Foods, and it's just been a dream come true.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So many people underestimate the power of tea, right? And the health benefits. So let's talk a little bit about that and why you specifically chose what you did.
Yeah. So we have all different exotic teas. We're not just doing black and green tea. So we didn't start from there. Most tea companies start with green tea and black tea with sugar and a little lemon and some flavors. We did very exotic teas, like what you have
Guava
in your
mango.
Yeah.
Yes, that's guava mango guayusa though. The hero ingredient is the guayusa from Ecuador. The indigenous Quechua people handpick this.
Wow.
This is rooibos from South Africa.
Right.
The indigenous Xhosa people actually pick that in South Africa. And then we go on from there. We have matcha from China and oolong from
Matcha from Japan,
yes.
English Earl Grey, Chinese oolong, all
Indian
sorts of
teas,
different
yeah.
offerings. And that's really what Seven is an exploration of the origins from where these teas stem from. And it's also, it's really the 7 continents, it's the world. So it's, especially today when there's so many different, so much craziness in the world, our brand is kind of bringing a sense of unity and understanding of one another.
Oh, love that. It's always been one of my favorite numbers anyway, so it'd be easy to remember.
Yeah.
7. Just fantastic. So you guys came from a line of sort of like entrepreneurs and business owners. You developed this incredible tea line here. And so what would you say, was there anything that you learned in the process of building this business that you didn't expect to learn, but that you didn't know already?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much we've learned, and man, what's the biggest thing that we have not expected yet? What would you say?
I'd say the key is patience.
Yeah,
Patience.
that's true. That's a good one.
When getting into this business, you think, how hard can it be to create a tea company, right?
Yeah.
All you need is some teas, some water, you get a glass bottle, and it's simple enough. Just show up to Whole Foods, but that's not how it is anymore. No, maybe in the early 90s, if you had a Kraft hummus or something you made, granola, you could do that. But now things have changed with Amazon buying Whole Foods and just everything. Everything is so vetted and it's such a process. And so you have to come with the best in order to be recognized.
And remain patient.
That's the key.
Oh,
That's the key.
Let's try some of this tea.
You guys have a favorite?
Toast.
Those are 2 of our favorites, actually. So this is caffeinated, actually. So that's going to give you a little zip.
All right. I love caffeine.
Yeah. Let's
Oh
try
wow,
one.
this is really good actually.
I'm gonna try that
Man,
Oh,
isn't it-
yum.
I haven't even tasted the other ones, but I have a feeling this is going to be my
Guava
favorite one.
mango guayusa.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, cheers to this.
Cheers, guys.
Seven Teas.
Thanks,
Please
guys.
tell everyone
Yeah.
where they can find and follow you.
Oh, excellent. You can find us locally in Southern California at Whole Foods and other retail chains such as Air One, Bristol Farms, etc.
You guys are everywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere. We're heading to New York now, actually, and we're 7 Teas at Instagram, 7 Teas.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. And we are EverTalk Live on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app. And we are live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. for all things happiness in Hollywood.
That's right. Go grab some 7 Teas. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be here 9 a.m. Pacific time. Have a great day on purpose.
Happy Thursday, everyone.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Really good.
So
Thank
good.
you.